Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers, I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna, promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future, know you wanna. She'll never betray ya, she ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming, yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Happy to be back. Let me know you can hear me, please. How's everyone? Everyone hear me? And just wait for your comments. Okay, you can. Okay, you can hear. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Well. Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, I took a little bit of a break. Wasn't expecting to have such an eventful weekend, but I didn't know that Lisbon has Carnival. And there's been so many amazing events happening the last few days that I just could not resist. And I made a friend here where I'm staying. So I actually had someone to go out with. and we went to Carnival, which was amazing, by the way. It was so well organized. We did like a full route through the city, and there was drumming and dancing and music throughout the street. So many people showed up. It was just such a nice vibe. Everybody was chill. No one tried any funny. They literally only had like the route that we took, 'cause there's like multiple carnivals happening. They only had like one police car because everybody behaved themselves so well. Like nothing weird or ridiculous happened at all. So if you're ever in Lisbon around this time of year, there is actually carnival. And then in the evening, after partying all day, we went to a bashment, reggaeton, and Afrobeats party. I have not been to an event like this where they play this music for such a long time. And now I'm asking myself why. Because the music was the best I have heard at a party for a long time. It was so good. We didn't come home until like 5 a.m. And then the next day, my apartment buddy had a very nice gentleman friend who took us out for a dinner and treated us both to dinner. So that was my weekend, and it was just nice to have a break and recoup a little bit because I think I've only been out like one weekend, like the other weekend when my friend came. So that's where I was. I was okay. I was perfectly fine, folks. But thank you, all of you who messaged me on my private Instagram to, well, it's not my private Instagram, my travel Instagram to ask where I was. If you want to follow me, by the way, what I'm doing while I'm here, you can go to Anne the Nomad on Instagram. That's where I post almost every single day. That's where I was, and I'm glad to be back. Now, quite a few things have happened since I'm gone, right? Dang. Oh, Benjamin, you said this is for Duchess. She said that she wants to learn Spanish. What's that in reference to, hon? Yes, thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, everyone. Thank you so much for reminding folks, Church Nelly. Let's see. I've seen a couple of comments I just wanted to address. Oh, Benjamin, you said, how do I buy a coffee without Twitter? I don't think you need Twitter, hun. Why do you think you need Twitter? I think you can just okay, if you're struggling with buy me a coffee, maybe try PayPal. There's a couple of options, but I don't think you need Twitter, hun. But thank you for asking. Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. I am good. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I bought those ornaments a long time ago and I've never worn them. So like finally I had a chance. Yes, Marina. So yes, it is Carnival in Trinidad and Tobago, and my roommate friend, who I've actually met, is from Trinidad and Tobago herself. So it's nice to do Carnival with someone who does Carnival probably the best in the world, the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival. So it was nice to do it with her. But I would love to actually go to Trinidad and Tobago and do it properly. Right, on to royal news then. Let's get to it, shall we? Right, some positive stuff. A reminder from Better Up, where our Duke is Chief Impact Officer. They posted this on their Twitter, I think it was, and it was just a reminder that they have their event coming up on March the 7th to the 8th. So if you're not yet registered, I posted it on the community tab, and definitely go and check it out. Right. And also, full update on the case with Meghan and her um her thing that she's related to, Samantha Markle, that the judge ruled that Meghan doesn't have to turn over private emails. Now, I did not even know that this was part of the court battle or whatever it is that Samantha's trying to do, but it just makes it even more obvious to me now that there's got to be someone backing her who's digging for information or trying to just make a circus to make more money out of Meghan. Also, apparently, Adele and Ed Sheeran said no to performing at the coronation. To be honest, um, even if Adele and Ed Sheeran wanted to perform at the coronation, I actually just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea for anyone who is current and relevant to take part in this very tone deaf pageant while so much is going on in the UK. I don't think it's a good idea, and I think it's going to reflect very poorly. So, if you are a current artist, if you're a young and up and coming artist, I just don't think this is a platform that you want to engage with because the backlash to this incredible display of wealth, while so many people in the country are suffering, is going to be grand. So maybe if you're an American artist, because it doesn't matter so much because nobody in America is even going to care about the coronation. But I think if you're a British artist, I would say no, personally. I don't think it's going to reflect very well on you. Also, there has been a disappearance case going on for probably like coming to 2 weeks now or something. A woman named Nicola Bully went missing. She has now been found. The body has now been found. Unfortunately, she has passed. And it has been rather disturbing, although not surprising, the way in which the media has treated this case. There were articles about her supposedly being an alcoholic or perhaps drugs were involved, things that were just not, I feel, in the public's interest while we're looking for a missing person. And some of the rhetoric that's come out from the media has just been very disturbing. Now, I saw this video from Times Radio saying that, Nicola's neighbors have been scared to leave their homes because of amateur investigators and kind of vigilantes who have also been trying to look for her and get details about this case. Now, while I'm sure that there are some members of the general public that have been trying to dig for information that should definitely be minding their business and letting the authorities handle this. It is um, primarily the mainstream media that have been mistreating this case. And so to just say that it's amateur investigators is so false, and it doesn't hold the mainstream media press accountable for the way that they have also handled so insensitively this case, and how they so insensitively handle cases like this, especially when they blow up and they know that people are watching and it's going to get clicks and views. And this is just another example of the way that the press abuse their power when they should be more responsible. I actually remember seeing something on Twitter from one of the victims of the 7-Eleven bombings. So these were the bombings that happened on the London Underground. And they said that the press, oh, God, what was it she said? I'm paraphrasing here, but she said that being caught in a terrorist incident was absolutely terrible. Um, but I wasn't expecting the trauma that came next, which included being hounded by the press. So this is what they do. They even go after people who are so vulnerable. Can you imagine going through something like that? We saw it more recently with the gentleman who trained Harry during his, flying days in the army, and he said that he was a very vulnerable person, but they still twisted his words. So at some point, I don't know how, I don't know when, we have to hold the press accountable. But that is down to the British public, and we've had so many opportunities to do that, and it just doesn't happen. I don't know how we're going to get to that point. Princess B, you said that they absolutely made the right choice, Adele and Ed Sheeran. I think so too. Jessica, an African American artist named Chrisette Michelle came for Trump's inauguration. She hasn't been heard of ever since. I didn't even hear about her then, to be honest. So clearly didn't do anything for her career. Oh gosh. She ruined her singing career by performing for Trump. Oh gosh. What, so the Trump fans didn't go and immediately buy her album? What a shame. Oh, Lucy Wynn, American artist. Yeah, American artists shouldn't perform for them either, but I think it will have a lesser impact on their careers than if a British artist did. Okay, on to the next thing. Oh, there's a bit of noise from outside. Okay, in Ghouls That Need to Disappear news, Andrew is apparently being threatened with homelessness and pennilessness because Charles won't give him an allowance. Oh, I mean, wasn't he left some money from the Queen? I've seen so many articles popping up over the last few days about how Andrew, sorry, is going to be left penniless and homeless and evicted, and Charles is being mean. I don't know if they're trying to garner our sympathy for Andrew, but it's not going to happen. Also, Rupert Murdoch has been seen frolicking around the beach with his new caretaker. He was seen with Elon Musk, I think at the Super Bowl. There were pictures of them together. I don't know what ghoulish things they are discussing, but there he's still walking. Rupert Murdoch is still walking, guys and dolls. I hope he lives long enough to see the end of his empire, because what he has done around the world using the press media is just horrific. He has ruined countries, he's ruined the minds of people, particularly in the US, Australia, and the UK. And yeah, there was a whole headline in the Daily Fail about Andrew fearing losing his home. So I don't know whether or not they are still trying to bring him back into the fold, or they have now decided that he has to go. I don't know, because I thought when there was an agreement that Camilla would get her queen title, that also meant that Andrew would be protected. But maybe Andrew can go live with this fellow, a Mr. Harrison Marshall, who cannot afford London's soaring rent costs, so he has decided to live in a skip with no running water, but it's cheaper than renting in London. And this other lady here, Miss Emma Kennedy, got her gas bill from British Gas, and it was over £700 with only two people in the house. This is what ordinary working class people are going through right now. And this grown man who has never worked a day in his life, who's lived his whole life in the lap of luxury, is complaining that he's now going to be evicted and he fears losing his home, when I am so sure that he has some kind of trust fund. Oi. Linda, that explains why Twitter is dying. Yeah, Twitter is a mess right now. Carl Alston, didn't Fergie buy a London home recently? Yes, she did. She did indeed. And you gotta wonder, where did she get that money from? Yes, Mariam, a skip is a container. I don't know, maybe it's a bit hard to see it in the picture, but it's literally like an upside down container. And I think he's kind of built a bit of a roofing on it to give it more comfort. I mean, this should be the main concern, not whether or not Andrew has a home. He can sell some cash for honours if he needs some cash. I don't know what else he's gonna do. Doesn't have a job and never had one. Right. Um, Miss Dr. Shola, Miss Dr. Shola, I know that this woman puts up with so much for speaking out about various issues, but particularly of those regarding race in the UK. And she has been um, a very consistent defender of Harry and Meghan. And she has now received several threats from um, extremist groups in the UK, threatening to her and execute her and her family. They've sent letters through her front door. They've been calling her. I'm not going to read out the letters because they're just vile. I was having a conversation with Lightside earlier today, and I said that the saddest thing about reading that letter and reading the absolutely disgusting things that they text her and said to her on, in phone messages was that I had no emotional reaction to it whatsoever. And the reason I had no emotional reaction to it was just because you're just so used to hearing about these things now. And that is so sad that this is just normal and this is just what we put up with and what we're used to now. So I hope Dr. Shola is surrounded by people who support her, but it's quite worrying that it's gotten to this situation where she is now getting threats through her door. I hope none of the people that sent her a threat had a heart attack or a stroke today because we've got more ambulance and doctors walking out. Like, this is what we should be focused on right now, not sending threats to people. All right, to your comments. Yeah, Princess B. Andrew is screwed. I feel that now that the Queen is gone, all bets are off. I don't think that Andrew's gonna have the protections he was promised for very long. Yes, Wendy, Andrew's behavior shows entitlement and indifference. Truly disgraceful. And more recently, we found out that he may be trying to overturn or not overturn, but like hit back at a lot of the allegations that Virginia Giuffre made and get back some of the money that he had to pay to keep her silent. It's truly disgraceful. I mean, why would you pay someone you've never met? Linda, Andrew has been living at the Queen Mum's estate ever since her death, along with the corgis as well, I'm sure. Apparently, the corgis have steak that's served on silver plates. This is what I've heard. I do also think with Dr. Shola, though, sometimes a lot of these shows have her on because they just know that they're going to trigger a certain part of their audience. And I know that recently she said no to appearing on one of Piers Morgan's episodes. And I do think that perhaps she should be more selective like that, because it's great to be given a platform and to be able to speak your voice and speak truth to power, but um is that platform giving you a platform to manipulate your image? I think that's what people like Dr. Shola need to be more mindful of going forward. Um, and in that particular situation where she said no, that was a really good move. Like, don't allow yourself to be used, basically. Now, Benjamin, you said Andrew is loathsome, but if I were Chuck, I wouldn't piss him off too much. Didn't his mother leave him money? His being broke and others are two different realities. Him down 2 or 3 million is broke. Yeah. These people want champagne lifestyles, but they've got beer bottle pockets. You know, even a couple 100,000 is not enough for them to live the type of life that they want. They want to fly private all the time, they want to eat in the finest places, they want staff. That costs millions. And even if the Queen had left him money, he will probably go through it very quickly. Yes, Linda, Virginia is writing her memoirs. Andrew wants a gagging order. They were able to keep her silent throughout the bubbly, but that deal it had a time ticker on it, and it's about to run out. So I hope that she really, really goes into detail. Right, on to the next thing. This. Here we go again, folks. So there was an article that came out about Prince Harry's fight to have police protection and LBC claiming that it's cost 300,000. The correct headline would be Man tries to get security for his family that he offered to pay for, British government and royal family act to fall, and the case ends up costing the British taxpayer £300,000 because of the British government and the royal family's nonsense. That's what's actually happened here. And as we spoke about when this story first dropped, there have been several occasions where celebrities have hired private security, private armed security. Celebrities, people like Kate Moss. And I even found on the government website, if you go all the way back to those podcasts a long time ago, a list of how much it costs to have private security in different parts of London, on different occasions. For example, if you wanted private security because you want to have like a carnival, so you need to book private security for a specific area in London, say Westminster, or if the event is so big that you need, armed security throughout the whole London Underground. Like they literally had lists with how much it costs. But they're still trying to pass it off as if, Harry's asking for something ridiculous. So the article says Prince Harry, who insists his family require round-the-clock protection, previously offered to pay for police protection with his own money, but was told the police force do not offer guns for hire. Yes, they do. We've proven and debunked this 100 times. Ex-Scotland Yard commander John O'Connor told the Sun to expect oh yeah, of course he told the Sun. He told the Sun to expect protection provided by the state is arrogant and irrational, is only vanity anyway. He only wants protection because he thinks his importance is downgraded without it. It's not because right-wing nutnuts called him a Nazi. Right-wing Nazi nutnuts called him a race traitor. It's not because of that. It's not because Meghan has had hundreds of threats levied against her. You even had another Met officer who came out and said this. There is ample evidence to prove that they need security. I really don't know what game these people think they're playing, because God forbid they say no to Harry and Meghan's security and then something happens. The blame's going to lie solely on them. So I don't know why they're playing around with these two people's security. Yes, Benjamin, exactly. If something happens to her, there will be a revolution in the streets. Yes. And you know what, Benjamin? I'm so glad you said that, because I honestly think that they are convinced that they've convinced everyone to hate Harry and Meghan especially. I honestly think, God forbid anything happens to Meghan, it will be 10 times worse than Diana. I don't know why they don't realize this. I think they've really convinced themselves that the hate campaign has done its job. It hasn't. It will make the United Kingdom look terrible, and it looks pretty terrible right now, if anything ever happened to Meghan. Yes, America, these people will fall for any headline, and that's why we have to correct the headlines. Yeah, do you know what? Even if it has cost £300,000 to the British taxpayer, that is the fault of the royal family and the British government. But that's nowhere near the £100 million it costs to keep up the royal family. And how much are we spending on Andrew security? We're still paying for that. Right, on to the BAFTAs. Oh my goodness. Honestly, let me just say, before I say anything, sometimes Squad on Twitter, please calm down. I honestly think the squad tweeted about this more than the Derangers did. Sometimes it's just not worth getting all worked up. So this is all I'm gonna say about this. They're making a huge deal out of Kate patting William on the bum. Something that most in love couples do very cheekily all the time. Apparently it's a big deal and Kate and William do it. If you actually watch the video, she was reaching for his hand. He pulled his hand away, as he's done many times, even on red carpets. For whatever reason, William is no longer playing along anymore. It's like he's done. This happened at the Earthflop Prize red carpet as well. So he kind of pulled his hand away and gave her a pat on the back. And then I think in kind of like an awkward tick, she kind of pats him on the bum. And yeah, something that most couples in love do. Apparently, is a big deal for these two. Um, Listen, like I always say, I don't wish bad on anyone, but I find it strange that the tabloid press make such a big deal out of these small gestures because it just reinforces the fact that there is just so little chemistry between these people. And it's like Kate is really trying. William is not. And you just gotta wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Even at the Jubilee, he was walking ahead of her, he was leaving her behind. He was giving her looks when they were sitting down, like he's just so bored to be here, like he'd rather be somewhere else. I've noticed a lot now when they show up to places, like William will kind of charge ahead and be shaking everybody's hands and not, introduce her. Um, Actually, at this event, there was one moment where she was walking upstairs and she tripped over, and her assistant helped, but William didn't. So it's just sad. I don't know, why you would put up an act like this for what? Make yourselves happy and just call it a day. Like, why live in misery like this? I don't understand. Like Saidi said, hate to say it, but I believe they are secretly hoping something does happen. But now the US and likely Canada will be added to those who will be outraged. Yes, I think the whole world will be outraged, to be honest. Um, Given how popular the Netflix documentary was, I mean, look at this. On the Google Trends, Harry and Meghan were more popular um, than any other members of the royal family in terms of searches. Of course, they would be. Oh, by the way, someone did. some, someone got some lookalikes and did the fight scene from Spare with Harry and William. Yeah, please don't tell William that Harry and Meghan are more searched than him and Kate, because this will be the reaction again. Oh, is there a troll in the chat? Oh, hi, troll. Thank you for giving us more views. Oh, Rochelle, and the clip I saw, she didn't pat his backside. She did. Or the one I saw, she did. Yeah, she was trying to hold his hand. It's just really awkward to watch. It's like this generation is getting to see Diana and Charles all over again. Anne Lewis, she said, God forbid anything happens to Harry and Meghan, flip it on the head. Do they want something to happen? Why are they refusing security? Who is making this strong objection? Yeah, that's a good question. That is a good question. Also, at the BAFTAs. So, yeah, those pictures were taken, of course, at the BAFTA Awards. I didn't watch it, haven't watched any of the speeches, don't want to. But this was quite interesting. Peter Thachel posted on Twitter, breaking news, I've received a tip-off that Prince William's office pressured the BAFTAs to disinvite journalist Christo Grozev, who exposed the plot to kill Alexei Navalny, a source insider said. So this was a journalist who exposed a plot to kill this Alexei, and he's featured in the film that is centered around this plot that was pulled to kill a Kremlin critic. And the reason, people are obviously raising an eyebrow is because William has been seen numerous times, photographed numerous times with the Russian media owner who was appointed in the House of Lords. So could this be a reason why this happened? Possibly. But the link is there and it's very suspicious. So that is all I'm going to say in regards to BAFTAs, because honestly, I don't really care about it. I didn't watch it. There's a lot of controversy around the fact that there were no, winners of color. I just think with these award shows, I think it's kind of time to call it a day. Um, you can't say that one small group of people get to decide what does and doesn't make a great film. I think that the general public, pay their pennies to go watch the movies, and there's millions of us that keep the industry going. So you know, why do these small elite groups that run all of these award shows get to decide what the best performance was that year? Princess B, someone remind me what are the BAFTAs? BAFTAs are it's a British Film Awards. That's like our Oscars. Oh, Cal, you said that the film won in its category, so that's a victory. Okay, that's good. I didn't know that because I didn't watch, but thank you for letting us know. A nice clap back that they won. Elaine Parker never watched the BAFTAs. Yeah, I never watched them because they're just so boring. At least with the Oscars, they put the performances for the best original song. And they try and make it interesting and funny, but the BAFTAs is super boring, and I don't know. I don't know why anybody would sit and watch the whole thing. There's never anything interesting about it. All right, and with that, I am done. Thank you, everyone. Great to be back. Great to see you all in the comment section again. And thank you, as always, for coming. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe on the way out. Right, finish all your comments and we'll call it a day. I am not going to read your inappropriate comments about strap ons and pegging. Go to bed, all of you, for making those comments. Go to bed and go in the corner. Thank you so much to Vanessa for the 3 copies. Much appreciated, darling. Let's see. Church said the British monarchy and media always bash Meghan for being a Hollywood actress, yet they want the actors to applaud the royal. Yeah. Did they applaud them? I saw on Baron's title, I think it was that they got no applause when they walked in, but I haven't actually seen the footage. Those of you that have seen it, like, how awkward was it? Because I haven't seen it. But I do know that there was 1 year where they went and there was no applause, and people just looked very awkward. But at this point, why is he even the head of BAFTA when the whole press establishment has been attacking the fact that Meghan was Hollywood, that Meghan was an actress, that being an actress is beneath royalty, but we're happy to show up to the BAFTAs. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that they should protest that William is president, because you don't think that actors and actresses are worth anything, but when it suits you, you want to be next to celebrities because you can't get attention and press and that glamour that you want otherwise. Gail Lewis, no applause this time either. Ouch. Oh, thank you so much, Cal. I'm glad to be back also. Right, wishing you all a lovely week, and I will see you all tomorrow. Ciao.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future. Know you wanna, she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah.